Goosh, what's going on? Hey, Bryce, Daddy. This Reddit. I think you can keep playing. It looks okay. I think you're in the spot. The CRDO is the one I'm not really. I can't really tell. It's all right, but it's gonna need a little work, right? So just something to be a little mindful of. Bacho, don't do that. Yeah, but otherwise it looks okay. I'm not sure those are swings per se. Well, you have to be careful on these. These these may have topped out. We don't really know yet. When you're doing swings, it's better if they like kind of escape the previous high and then they're kind of consolidating. It's a little bit more difficult when you're it's a little bit more difficult when you're it's a little bit more difficult when you're kind of still under the last low. All right. Now, let's get to work. Hey everybody. How you all doing? Good. It is, and the reason is, Gosh, if you see something like this, it's like I see the range break and stuff on this one. It's a little bit cleaner, but you can see all these wicks and stuff too, right? Like it's kind of a weird. It's a very loose pattern, and so that's why sometimes I'm not sure if that's a swing. It could. It's a luck of the draw sometimes on that, and the stock's also a big gelatinous turd. What up? What up? What up? Good morning, everybody. Let's get to work. All right, we got things to do. All right, things to do. So, we had an awesome reversal in the markets yesterday. We had at one point, we had at one point, we were down about 3% in the overnight session, maybe 2.7, 2.8%. And we gapped down and the market had a pretty much a full-blown reversal, right? So we ended up with some news right around 10:25 where the Trumpster came in and said, "Hey, Mexico's going to be deploying some troops at the border. There's going to be a lull, a 1 month lull on the tariff talk with the Mexicans." And so the market had a really nice, and look, most of the gain was in the first two candles. Yes, Bachu. Most of the gains was in the first two candles. So you do got to be a little bit careful, but overall, it was a nice reversal. We basically finished like even on the day, maybe give or take some. So that I thought was a bullish reversal. It was something that could have got ugly and it didn't, right? So now where does this leave us today? Well, we're kind of smack dab right into the range. We're under the MAs, but these MAs don't matter because when you're just going sideways, guys, the moving averages are always going to just kind of crisscross. They really mean nothing. Moving averages are great guides for when you're in a trending environment, and then you're kind of using them as some kind of guidepost. But in absence of that, you don't really, they're just there. So we're in a range, and this range will kind of resolve itself in some manner. But we've got to it's going to back and fill kind of this area over here. And as that happens, we'll kind of see what's going on. In the meantime, we're in earnings season. There's all sorts of stocks that are popping that I think are looking pretty good that we can get a little juicy with. So let's get to work. First of all, I want to dig in and see what type of PRs we got, what type of earnings we got, and all that stuff. And then we'll go from there, right? So I would say in the indexes, we're in no man's land. We're not necessarily bullish. We're not necessarily bearish. We're just in a range. Range trading in a nutshell is like when things look good, they're bad, and when they're bad, they look good. Right? So, like, for example, this SPY. if you looked at the SPY, you didn't know this was the SPY. This was just a stock. You would probably say that the range itself on this is kind of fast and loose, right? Like it's starting to just kind of widen and become sloppy. And that's range trading in a nutshell. Like it's a big consolidation and it's just getting a little bit fast and loose, right? Like you have an excess of volatility, right, in these big red candles. And then you have your moving averages crisscrossing around. And so, if you didn't know this was the SPY and you just saw this as like ticker XYZ, you'd say, well, it's in a long-term nice trend, but on a short-term basis, intermediate-term basis, it probably needs a little bit of work. So just something to be kind of mindful of as we go through this. Just something to be mindful of as we go through this. Whoa, man. That's not much to say on that, right? And if you look at the IWM, well, this is just a giant poo-poo platter of despair, too. So if you look at the IWM, and once again, if you didn't know this was IWM, this was just a stock, you would say, it's kind of like a larger head and shoulders pattern. It's a larger something, right? So I think those are just leave alones, Bachu. No, those are just probably leave alones for the moment. So what we want to do is focus in on the news plays. And I think there are some good looking, right? There's some good lookers today. So hold on here. Hold on here. Bachu, no. Sorry, the little guy's pulling at my cords. So now let's go in because, yes, I think that the tech, AI, some of these kind of things are going to be in play today for a specific reason, right? These Palantir earnings are well received. Guys, you're at a $200 billion market cap. The stock was left for dead just recently, right? You're at a $200 billion market cap on this bad boy. It's up 23%. It's probably unplayable today. It's a thick stock, 2 billion share float, and you're up 23%. But you have offshoots of this. What I mean by offshoots is that, with these earnings kind of really being well received and it breaking out obviously to more all-time highs, what we can do is say, well, we've got a little extra something something, right? So what we can do is say, if Palantir is going up, maybe some of these other AI companies and other things will start to rise too. Dude, so let's get into that, right? So this thing is hopping. So I think, dude, we probably want to put, right, like some of these quantums on in play for today. I think we got it. These things are turds, but I think we want to add in. Man, I think we want to add in some of these bad boys. We want to add in the NBIS. We want to add in really any AIs. I think Snow is probably a good beneficiary of some action today. If very light gap too, so that's good. And we've got a nice easy level here on Snow. Bachu, nope. He's digging through everything. We got a nice easy level here, 186. I think this could be a little something something. Dude, nice easy level here. What do you think? Hell yeah. Let's get that thing going. Bachu, no. Hold on, guys. Not the wires. Whoa. Not the wires. Not the wires. Hi, my love. You want to say hello? Hi, buddy. You want to play on the other side of the office, away from the wires? Okay. Look at this. Woo! Woo! Here, take this new toy. Look at that. He's that age where he really doesn't play with toys yet. He just like likes wires and boxes. So let's add this snow. You know, you may even get a little run, and man, you may even get a little bit of run in some more of these spec names and some of these nuclears too. We'll see if kind of some of these things get offshooted too. Beyond that, guys, let's just dig through real quick, see what other type of news plays are out there. Because first of all, small cap stocks have been hot for really over a year now, and probably all of these bad boys, are still in play. So you got like stuff like this. I don't trade small caps, but the big hairy Indian butt is that probably these kind of breakouts here, they got some legs up on this thing, right? They got some legs up on this thing. So keep an eye on that all day. We'll call those out in the chat room. He's back from the dead. Now, look, these are all the Palantir ETFs. Junk, 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 junk. Look at this grab. This thing is actually HSBC upgrades grab to buy from hold. I believe this is like the Uber of Bhutan or Nepal or some shit. You may get a little action in this. It's not really like a hot mover, for a $4 stock. Like it kind of like gears up before it gets going. But it trades pretty good. Spot always gaps up on earnings. I can't recall a time where Spot did not gap up on earnings. This stock's a tough trader for me personally. It's got a huge monster cock spread on it. I just have a little trouble on this one. I think that's probably a leave alone for me personally. I actually like the look of it is fine. I just have a lot of trouble trading this one because of the spread. This KC is more of a swing trade. This is the hottest stock, around. It's a Chinese stock, and don't be fooled by this Kingsoft Cloud Holdings. Like this is a Chinese company, and it's been on just a monster rampage. More of a swing trade setup, if it's when it started to remount. But I think that's something you should keep on your longer term list. Good job, buddy. Play with those boxes. Good. You know what? RGTI may pick up some steam today. It's still a turd. You got huge wicks on this thing all the time. But, if you didn't know it was a turd and you just closed your eyes and did the stranger, this thing is not bad. Not my particular flavor. I think probably IO and Q Trade's a little bit cleaner. Yeah. Hey, Katya. ASTS does look okay, too. My guess is that, it's starting to kind of, now that it tested its 200-day moving average, it's starting to kind of. Bachu, that was gross. Hi. Yeah, you're starting to come out. It's going to need a little bit more juice before it really picks up some steam, but you're starting to get there. Even RKLB's still holding up here. And this one's also in a kind of longer term fast and loose range now. Yeah, I think so. I think there's some better plays out there. Good. So let's get into that. Yeah. So XPEV looks really nice too. These are all more swing trades. China stocks tend to move on gaps and then they sit around. The only tradable China stock for day trading basis, I think today would be BABA, which is really starting to tighten up here. All the China stocks are going. BABA's got a really good look to it. I think that's probably the play on this. That's nice, right? Add that. Added Baba. PDD looks okay. This one trades a little bit weird. Yeah, I think that one trades a little bit weird. Now let's get into this. TAM has earnings out, I believe. Is it? Genetics. Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah, its earnings did come out. So this may be in play too, right? You have this is an AI company. This is a Grossi Pelosi play, right? This is a Grossi Pelosi play. You got room to 75 on this bad boy. Look at all the volume accumulation on this compared to the down days, the up days. Like this thing is ready to do some damage. Now I wouldn't probably chase it up right now, but I think this is in play today too. We'll see if it orbs. Oh yeah, that's a Grossi Pelosi. Let's see what else we got going on here. Hold on. Let's take a look and see what kind of earnings plays we got besides. See if we missed any. Here, give me a sec. Let's shift gears for a hot sec. Hey Joseph, how you doing? Hold on here. Whoa, don't put that in your mouth. It's Gandu. Gandu Bachu. All right, so you got Jolt report at 10. That may be something. You'll get a momentarily kind of move on that. U.S. factory orders, possible movement. So we'll keep an eye at the 10 a.m. Make sure there's no fugazis. Beyond that, right, commodities, nothing really here. They've been kind of just drifting around. Boom, 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 boom. These are all the pennies. Let's see if we got any good upgrades. AMC junk, grab that we looked at that one. MasterCard, Palantir, TMCI, and on the downgrade. Let me see. ANAB, any reaction? No. Yeah, so not really anything much on the upgrades, downgrades. So in terms of earnings for the week, we still have AMD, we got Amgen, we got Amazon. This ARM will be interesting. I think Disney will probably be really interesting. Google. Merck already came out today. MSTR, these will be horrific, but it doesn't really matter. You got Pfizer, fuck those guys. Palantir, PayPal, PayPal's out today. Palantir's out today. Qualcomm will be interesting too because it's been really just stuck in a range for a huge period of time. Let me see when Qualcomm this tomorrow. Roblox, Snapchat. So this is a busy week. These are all going to be important. I'm not familiar with all, but dude, we got a lot of action this week. So copy and paste these into a list in TC 2000. That way you can always keep an eye on. So that's what I like to do. I'll take the before market, after market, and just put them on a list so I don't miss anything. That way you can kind of get through all of this very quickly in case they don't gap that much. Then after hours, we got old Chipotle. Oh, we got Google. Snappy Chat always sucks, right? You got all sorts of goodies over here, right? So the big theme for today will be these Palantir earnings. I think that's going to be a little bit of the tour du jour. Ba, 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 ba. Yes. All right, let's make sure we're not missing anything here. MLab, Fox, Junk, PayPal. We'll go over PayPal in a second because that's breaking down some levels and has decent liquidity. The Pfizer always sucks. Junk. Good. And we talked about Spot. If you don't mind a stock with the spread, Spot will have really good range. It's just going to have like a big nasty spread on it. Yes. Yes, son. What you got in your mouth over there? Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we got a good handle on this. So let's kind of dig through these on we got some on the downside that we want to look into. Good. You Bachu. That is Gundu. Look at PayPal's getting dusted at the moment. So PayPal had a momentary spike up, and then right, it's just getting rugged here, and you're starting to clear down some levels. I think this is going to be in play today. Let's see if this sets up an opening range breakdown, or we'll see how the first pop kind of holds through. Man, we got a good look on this too. I think this one, and then you've got Merck here too. That's really this is very clean. I think we can add both of those, and frankly, shorting drug companies is a nice thing to do, anyways, right? Fuck these guys. Dude. One test, two tests, three tests. Hey, Penguin, what's up, baby? Show me your goodies. Show me your goodies, baby. All right, so now you got Merck coming in. So you got adjust price targets. Man, you got nasty. They must have done some nastiness over here, right? So Merck's Q4 non-GAAP earnings sales rise provides full year guidance. Blah blah blah. Right, of 172 from 0.03, analyst point of 162. Blah blah blah. None of that matters. That's a good lesson. Sometimes your earnings can rise. Sometimes they can surprise. Sometimes they can read good. It doesn't matter, right? It's just the market's reaction because there's always somebody that knows something better than us. So you got yourself a nice. Oh, add it. Cool. Now I want to go over just a couple little doohickeys here. This Estee Lauder is also kind of dropping down on earnings. This stock actually has a history of having some decent range on its earnings day. So if we go back, right, see this day right here, dropped from 139 to 124, right? Even on its gap ups and downs, like it tends to have a decent range. So like this particular day. So I want to add this one. It is a little bit of a tricky trader. It's a little bit of a tricky trader in that, it's got. Hold on here. It's a little bit of a tricky trader in that it's a little bit thin in the pre-market, but I think that's got a decent look to it. So I want to add that one too. Now, and we're going to kind of regurgitate all this and kind of pick, the best ones, right? If you're a swing trader, anybody here a swing trader, and even if you're a day trader, this DocuSign has a fantastic spot on it. This here was on earnings in December. Hey, buddy. And then you started to kind of pull back and really round it for good 2 months, right? Now you're starting to build out a nice, yeah. Now you're starting to build out a nice, easy level. Yes. Now you're starting to build out a nice, easy level. If you can break through this thing. What, buddy? Here, come here. Oh, oh, whoa. Hi. What? Oh no. Oh no. Are you tired? Huh? Oh no. Say hi to everybody. Huh? Oh, that's my handsome boy. Hi. Okay. Yeah. I know. Oh, looks like you're tired. Guys, I'm going to just drop him upstairs real quick to mom. Hi, buddy. Say bye. You're going to have to take your nap now. Somebody's been up since 4 in the morning. Doo-doo-doo. Come on, buddy. Guys, give me a sec. Okay. Back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Cool. Now, this has got a good look to it, right? So if it breaks here, I think you probably have a risk down to 95. That's a damn good swing setup if you can get it, right? Crowd. Really like this one too. I think you want to probably accumulate some of this on the dips down here as long as this bone zone holds. You can see here. So after your kind of flat top breakout here, right? That kind of 390 spot. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of just kind of marination where, man, it's just kind of hanging, right? I think if it starts to clear out, this kind of 405, 406s, I mean, you're going to make this attack on 410, and then it's game on. You have a month. You have a month before the earnings come out. Man, that's pretty good. Dude. All right. I love that. That's a damn good look. You can day trade this too. It looks like a swing trade to me personally in that overall picture. It's one of those things where it's like you could probably day trade it for a buck here, buck there, but if you catch it right on the swing, you might nail 50 points. It's got a damn good look to it. I'm eyeballing the CRM. I really like this. So you had this huge hot move on 16 million, 12 million shares in volume. All right. Then you started to pull back right into the bone zone. All right. You got a green candle to hold now on this Palantir earnings, kind of getting everything juicy, a little bit saucy. So now you should start to kind of attack this thing back into the 360s. All right. So you got a really good location on this that, frankly, we got to respect. I think you get back into this 360, 370 zones if the market can hold. All right. Da-da-da-da. Baba, out of all the China stocks, Baba's got the best look. All right. You had this big run from 80 to 104. You've had on lighter volume. So you ran up on 76 million shares in volume. Then you came in at about 48. Now you're starting to reduce it, 35, 32. So you're pulling back on slightly less volume, which is good. And you're just kind of back and filling this thing, right? Sometimes after such a big pop, you need to grind out and churn out just back and forth in the range a little bit, allow some fresh buyers to emerge. And you're starting to kind of, right, build this structure out. That's a damn good look to it. All right. And this acro, the volume's just been done. I actually take this off. I take that off. ABVV. Actually, I'm taking that off too. Good. Now, what am I missing? Yeah, I think you can put ASTS on your watch list. It's not my exact favorite. And the reason it's still stuck under a lot of supply, right? So it's not in the clear yet. So when you look left and you kind of like, okay, where's it at and what's it running into? You can kind of see, right, that it's like you still got all this congestion here. And guys, this level here is a lot of congestion, right? It's not just like a little bit of congestion. This here is a lot of congestion, right? You're kind of clogged up there. So you need to not just clear it. That's, of course, in a simplistic manner, what you do need to do, but you need to essentially absorb all of this supply that's in this congested zone, right? And so you got to kind of like grind up a little bit into these things, and then you got to absorb it, right? And, you did it. First of all, this volume day here is a good start, right? You're probably doing some level of absorption into that as you filled this gap here. And so maybe you kind of suck up a little bit of it, right? But you still have, right, the 50-day moving average, you have the old high, you have the previous high, and then you have all of this, right? To just kind of muddle through. So I think there's a little bit more work to do. It looks fine. Like it's probably worth keeping an eye on, maybe even setting some alerts, especially if we can kind of clear the 50-day moving average and this previous high. But it's got still, to me, some work to do in terms of the speed and the velocity, right? Setups are not just about, hey, is this pattern good or not? But it's about the velocity of and the efficiency of your capital. And what I mean by that is, right, if you have $100,000 you're putting into the stock, you have to make the decision of, well, this is a good setup, but is there something that could be better, right? And so if you have something that could get you 5%, but there's something that's a lot easier that gets you 10%, right? Then even though you made a gain, in essence, right, there was an opportunity cost there. And so you do have to be a little bit careful. So I like the overall look. I've got some alerts set here too at the 50-day moving average here, and if it starts to speed up, and the liquidity starts to pour in, we'll get an alert and, we can go out and do whatever we got to do. Right. So let's just kind of keep that into the back of our heads too. Now going back through this, let me see this FTNT, brother. I'm not opposed to this. I think this is probably more, I wouldn't consider this an explosive setup, but maybe a little bit more of a grinder. Right. What I mean by that is like, it can get moving, but it usually does take some time to gear up. It tends to make almost all its move in like 1 or 2 days and then sits around a lot. So this stock, watched this stock for years, but like it'll make a lot of its move in any given year, like in a handful of days, and then it sits around. So it's like you make the move and then it kind of sits around, and you make the move and it kind of sits around. So are we in that spot where it's about to make the move? Possibly, but because the earnings are in 2 days, but a good chunk of it is just the sits around part, right? So you have earnings in 2 days. So if it's going to make its move, it's going to do it on that probably 2-6. Does that make sense? Good. Kroger looks okay. Look, it's a grocery store. So the ATR, this is $60 stock. You got an ATR of $1. So this is one of those things too, where you can have like a decent setup, but there's an opportunity cost to trading a stock that just has an ATR of $1, right? 1.8% and $1. So it's just the ranges become compressed on this thing, right? And it don't matter how much money you got. If you're trading a stock with just a $1, 1.19 ATR, I mean, even if you nail it perfectly, what are you going to get? Like 75% of the ATR. So you made 80 cents, give or take, right? And that's hard to do, right? Like, so our job as traders is to do what? Take a couple bucks here, couple bucks here, couple bucks here, couple bucks here, and stack it into a day, right? So we essentially need things with a little bit higher percentage of ATR. So always keep track of the ATR in absolute terms and then the ATR in percentage terms, right? That becomes, important. So like we trade this Oklo, that's a 13% ATR. So if you're just trying to take chunks, a couple bucks here, a couple bucks here, which one is more of an opportunity generating mechanism? Probably, right? Probably the one with the bigger ATR. So just something to kind of keep into your head. Good. What else? So going back into this, I think there's a couple things that we need to do. First, let's take a look at some of the big boys here, because a lot of them look like crap. AMD, if we need a short, probably this one, because it's just in this epic downtrend. I have no clue why this thing cannot pick up any steam. I mean, all the semiconductors look like shit, but this one is extra shit. Google's got earnings after hours. It's got a nice setup on it, but not much you can do. Never hold through earnings, if you don't have to, because it's just it's hard. Netflix is waiting for something, man. I feel a mega penis candle just coming out of nowhere. that's going to get the chase going. One of these days, and it could be any day, is just going to rip about 20 points out of nowhere, and then the chase is on, and then everybody's going to be up on it, right? So I think that's something we're going to have to keep mind of. This is on top of the watch list. Out of all the big caps, one, right? This is the one that we want to be. This is the one that we want to be knee deep in. If it rips, right? And it ain't going to take much to rip this thing. Like somebody's going to do it at some point, and we'll be ready for it. I've got alert set at 990, 995, and 1000. If we can start to push through, hell yeah, man. 2 beers in a bucket. Fuck it. Right? And you can see all the weekly chart, hourly charts, 15-minute charts. It's aligning on all time frames, which is a buenos. Amazon is got a decent look to it. That's holding up. Watch that 240. Meta, of course, is just doing its thing. You got a 710 breakout on this. This is a daily trader at this point. Meta Nation. Tesla's kind of in no man's land, right? So, like, after that huge world-beating run, guys, and it was, right? Like, it was $150. It went to $450. That's 200% gain. It's going to need a lot of time to just... lot of time. Microsoft turd. NVIDIA turd. MU turd. If we need shorts, like if you need a short, say the market gets rugged, this MU is the one, right? Like if you need it, because you've got a cleanly defined level here, right? If you're going to rip down 88, easy enough. You got yourself a nice, good, God-fearing Christian kind of a level right there. Apple, monster rundy after its earnings. And then AVGO and no man's land. So out of these, look, Google looks great, but the earnings are after hours. Netflix, you need about 994. Damn. 994. Amazon, you're right there, man. This could also rip really any second. Dude. And Meta. So 3 out of the big ones look good. The rest of them need some work, right? Meta could definitely use maybe a couple red days. Look, this thing every day it dips down and gets bought back up, right? It dips down and gets bought back up. So you got a level here at 710. It'd be nice, of course, if it could, take a little bit of a breather, but it may just not need it. It's not necessarily overbought because it's been sitting in a 4-day range. So you've got a spot there, right, to trade around. That's fucking pretty good. Jason fucking Big Up. Cool. All right, guys, let's go have some fucking fun today, man. Let's do what we do. The market is hot, up and down. Don't get worried about the ups and downs. If it's easy to forget, but you got to remember in 2016 when the Trumpster took over, right? There were just rips down all the time. You could be in the most epic swing trade, that most epic down trade, and boom, the market just rolls the fuck over. And that was just the norm. And, by the end of the year, the market was up a lot. But, dude, it was stressful. So, like, these kind of waterfall days, like we saw, right, on Friday and into yesterday morning, that's the norm. So, expect volatility, expect shakeouts, make sure you use your stop losses and all that kind of stuff, and you're going to be good. All right, let's go do what we do, baby. The do.